new idea or new thought. And he said, what do you think of this? What about this? What about this character? So it was challenging because in those 20 years, I never took a vacation either. And he would often go home sometime late afternoon, work on his computer, and he was always emailing and instant messaging me throughout the time till he finally went to bed. It was an amazing trip, and it was an amazing ride, and that's what it was. It was a ride. Stan, as the world seems to know or does know him as the creator of all these superhero characters, Stan also had a deeper side to him, which he loved to discuss. And at lunch we would talk about, how could the universe end? There has to be some end to the universe. Or how does good and bad play in real life? You know that superheroes are comic book stories and are fairy tales for today's generations, but they're not real. But Stan had a far deeper side. He talked about good and evil, not just in the superhero world, but what was going on in the world today. And he often wrote about that. These are unpublished stories or ideas that he had that were very dear to him. And he usually was more reserved when it came to asking questions, whether they were political or had to do with cultural differences. But he was very, very vocal in his feelings and his depth of the world and the world situations. We had a wonderful opportunity when we were introduced to them and learned more about them, started talking and sharing ideas. Their passion for storytelling and comics and art and imagination was something that fit right into what we always look for in finding the right partners to work with. And so we continue those discussions until we develop the project that we're working on together now called Death Hunt. And we expect them to come up and continue to working along to come up with great ideas, great story, great content, and to make Death Hunt all the ideas and all that we envision it can be for now and for in the near future as well. Well, what do I expect from Death Hunt is a lot. It's always difficult working across borders, across cultures. It is always not the easiest of experiences, but working with the crew and the staff that they've put together on the project Death Hunt has been a most enjoyable experience. The collaboration has been fantastic. It's not always the easiest. Sometimes there's a language barrier or a time barrier, but we've been able to overcome all those difficulties that have been put in our path. So far, the creatives, both story, content, and in the art story world has been fantastic. So we expect not only a series of good books to come out of this, but also other opportunities to develop a franchise around the Death Hunt story. The first day I met Stan changed my life for the next 20 years and will for the rest of my life. I grew up reading comic books. I used to go down to the candy store and read comics. I can't say I was an avid comic book fan, but when I had the opportunity to first meet Stan, I was overwhelmed by his compassion, his heart, his warmth, his enthusiasm. It was hard for Stan to sit in a chair when he was telling a story, and during his first interview, it was amazing to watch this man. He was so animated, so passionate, so in love with what he did. It became infectious, and that infectious belief and love was something that lasted for the next 20 years of my life and will continue for generations of fans who grew up reading his works and also looking forward to the new projects that we're doing at POW that were developed by Stan Lee. Every day was a treat. Every day was an experience. I left that room walking on air, and I continue to do so.